Hello, my name is Mhakey, and welcome back to another new episode of Format Talk with your host, Mhakey. And today it's time for us to dive into the beautiful, wonderful world of China and the LPL. Now, in case you haven't noticed, we have a lot of things to talk about. There is some transfer news going on. I heard that Invictus Gaming is getting stronger. BLG staying pat, JDG staying back. But that's all those kind of things when we get to like the preview or such. For today, this is all about the format talk. And man, oh man, we got some interesting things that is really brewing about the China thing. Now, in case you haven't noticed, the last time I did the LPL, we talked about, the whole English broadcast being axed by Riot one by one to the point of like nothingness. And it saddened me because that region produced a lot of talent, produced a lot of storylines. And for them to kill it off like that is sacrilege and pretty much like, man, that hurts. But these people who have been representing the LPL realizes that they can't just sit down idly and do nothing about it. They can either just go to McDonald's, get a job, or decided to screw Riot. We can do this thing on our own. Hey, remember the thing that we have done 10 years ago before Riot Games come in and took everything over and make it even worse? We decided to bring it back. So the LPL should be brought back, revived by the people that have created LPL in the first place as a fan-only content, with Dom and Yamato joining in some part. And you know what? I feel like it's for the best. We are at the point right now that I don't think broadcasting and casting is pretty much like the biggest thing anymore. It just almost feels like you either have to be a co-streamer and make big money, or you just have no other job left. So I think that they decided to bet on themselves and rely on the people to pay money in order for content to go through or learn about storylines. It's just important. The problem is that none of these guys will ever make to like an international tournament or like cast a Riot Games event ever again, but that's the risk they have to take. That's the literal risk they have to take in order to bring LPL into light. The region that has been like the second most best region in the world besides LCK. This is a region that has so many good players on their squad. For that and for the English broadcast to never get the light of day, I mean, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I'm glad that they decided to roll up their sleeves and decided that we are going to do this broadcast by ourselves. We don't need Riot to be involved. We don't want any kind of authority. We're going to do this ourselves. Our own broadcasting, our own money, and if we're going to take a loss, so be it. We're going to suffer, but it's going to be for the greater good. It's going to be for our greater good, and I'm happy for that. I am happy for these people to decide that instead of just going to McDonald's or follow another job or go like the LTA or something in a region that is never going to appreciate you, they are going to take a risk. I mean, they already take a risk right now working in the LPL and working for Riot, but this is a risk they have to take, and I'm proud for that. Now, it's time for us to move away from all the LPL casting drama and bring up the LPL literally. So, the LPL have 3 splits this season, in line with all the other splits, but I digress. And unfortunately for the LPL, they've realized that having 17 teams in a 3-split system is not going to fly under this new system. So unfortunately, one of them had to be the sacrificial lamb. Now, unfortunately, it cannot be RNG and IG and EDG. These are traditional teams. Cannot be JDG or Top Esports or BLG. These are kind of decent teams. And it cannot be like some other teams. Somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb. And unfortunately for you, Rare Adam, you have to be the sacrificial lamb. Yep, they just pulled the plug on them. They decided that the LPL purchased the entire Rare Adam team, which means they cannot play LPL anymore, which means no LDL anymore. They're gone. Just like that. And that took place on, I have to say, it took place like this week or something, but it took place probably a couple of days ago. So Honestly, I just have that feeling of like it's sad that a team has to leave, but at the same time, for the betterment of the league, it is for the best. And listen, I feel bad for the players being involved. I feel bad for the coaches, the staff, the people who have made Rare Atom probably one of the most decent looking teams ever, but they're kind of like stuck on the water. They're like lambs to the slaughter here with the whole new system and the LPL moving on from them. And realize that in order for this to work, 16 teams will be the way to go in order for everything to work. And I'm sad for them, but it is what it is in this newfangled system of the LPL, which we're going to talk about here. Well, Akeem, it turns out that Rare Atom is not just the only sacrificial lamb to ever be slaughtered in the hands of LPL. It turns out this year, holy cow, the LPL is broke. Absolutely broke. It said 2024, it saw multiple organizations grappling with bankruptcy, making ends meet, a lot of cuts and salary cuts made by multiple teams. Because of, I think many people look at this and saying, oh, maybe it's because of we didn't win Worlds. Well, maybe, I think you have missed the forest for the trees. It turns out the ongoing trade war has been really hurting China so much. And unfortunately, the viewership numbers have not been great in the last couple of years. So, yeah, that's not great. But that's not the only reason, Mr. Hakeem. What is the other reason? Increase of popularity in competitors, which is notably the rise of VCT China in 2024. Valorant is the reason why LPL is not doing well. Not the only reason, but probably it's the reason why the LPL has not done well. I'd like to congratulate Riot on actually creating one problem, and instead of just solving the problem that is in your face, they decided, like, we're going to create another game. Like, what the hell? Have you not seen the LPL? Your second best region is now being second funneled to VCT? Like, I'm not disrespecting, like, Can and EDG winning the whole thing, but god damn it. It is obvious right now that the LPL is suffering, and it's just like, we're not dealing with all of these things. We're going to move on to Valorant. That's a better game than this. Well, congratulations. You're just murdering everybody. It says, from the statement from Strav Esports, link in the description down below after all of this is done, that Rare Atom is the first of reportedly, let me just be emphasized, multiple teams that are looking to exit LPL side in financial troubles. Multiple teams. I mean, there's 16 teams right now, man, but I can tell you that it will not. 16 teams will not cut it right now. They might go to 12 by the time this year will be done. It's the first LPL departure. Unfortunately, there'll be more teams dropping in the new season, and unfortunately, the reason for Rare Atom's departure is based on entirely on the club's own willingness. The league has comprehensively evaluated the application and reached an agreement with the club requesting the repurchased. So they've realized that they're broke. They can't even do anything about it, and they decided that the LPL decided to yoink them off, and then decided that hey, we're going to hold you off until you're going to buy back again. But holy cow, there's a lot of organizations being bankrupt, and there's going to be more and more LPL teams being kicked out because of the whole situation that China, even though they have the biggest population ever, and even though they make cell phones for a lot of living, and laptops, and jeans, and God knows how much China played into this, are broke. They can't even afford the payment. No wonder the LPL broadcasting has been crap all year. No wonder they cut out the LPL broadcast. They are broke as hell. And no amount of world competition wins or international tournament is going to change all of that. Even if, like, LPL wins Worlds next year, they realize, oh, everything under their feet is pretty much like quicksand. Meanwhile, they're lifting the trophy and everything else is just sinking below them. This is horrible. Like, listen, the same sentiment I have for Rare Atom is probably the same sentiment to each and every team that's about to be kicked off. The fault is not yours, guys. The fault is not yours. The fault is realizing that Riot realized that they don't want you anymore. They don't treat you like your child. They don't treat you like everybody else. They didn't treat you like your best region, everybody. They realized that Valorant is now the new thing, come hell or high water. And unfortunately for some of the teams, they have to suffer for it. So sorry, everybody, we're gonna be stuck here, and there'll be more and more and more. It is like the meme, of course, with the Green Reaper knocking on the door and slashing every single person down the row until there's nothing left. That's what it is right now. That's what it is. The Grim Reaper of Riot is coming for each and every LPL team, and it sickens me for that. Unfortunately, they are just so broke and so inconsistent with the financial situation and the consideration with the country right now dealing with all these trade wars and economic problems. The LPL is like quicksand right now. It is sinking further and further down to the pits of hell, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, with that being said, let's go back to Mhakey with all the format talk. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe so I can just talk more about this. And also, we are down to the last 2 parts of 10 things I hate about League of Legends. And I bet you these last 2 will be awesome. So, keep going around. We're almost to 30 subscribers, which is going to be something pretty interesting and pretty happy for me. So let's look at the first split. The first split will take place on the 1st of January. Actually, no, not the 1st of January, but just imagine first day of January, LPL starts. That would be crazy. So I will read you the format. You're probably going to see this on the screen or probably have a link in the description below, but it said for the group stage format, we are split into 4 teams of 4. The teams are seeded into 4 pods based on the 2024 summer placements. 1 team from each pod will be drawn into each group, and the teams will play in a single round-robin best-of-5 with Fearless Draft, which is going to be a thing for like the first part of the season. Top 2 of each group will advance to playoffs, and bottom 2 of each group will be eliminated from split 1. In the playoffs, this will be a double elimination. Group winners are seeded into the upper bracket semifinals. Group runners-up are seeded in the lower bracket round 1. All matches are best of 5 with Fearless Draft. So that is something to be behold. Like, that is something huge, you know. Yes, we get the Fearless Draft aspect of it. By the way, they did the Fearless Draft like last year, of course. So it's not a surprise that they're bringing it back. But I have to say, this is something to be behold about. So it's kind of like a little bit of circuit tournament. It's kind of like one of those tournament things, and that's huge. That's huge for them. The winner of this match, the winner of this whole split, by the way, will be participating in the very first League of Legends tournament of the year with the Fearless Draft and everything. And I would like to announce that Riot Games' name of the very first split of next year's tournament would be First Stand. I mean, seriously. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be back in the LPL train just a bit, but I mean, can you at least name your tournaments properly? Like, the MSI is bad, and I mean, Worlds is already big and grandiose enough already, and it's already a name brand itself, but MSI, First Stand, R2KO, like Valorant, like, these names are kind of like a pre-adolescent adult would do on their free time, of course. These are like kindergarten names or high primary school names. I mean, the First Stand I mean, it's better than like MSI. I'll give you that, but it's not. But it's kind of like, welcome to the First Stand tournament. Like, what? Like, I mean, the kickoff. I mean, listen. The Fearless Cup would be marvelous, and also like the Fearless Frenzy would be a nice name, of course, because you're based on the entire tournament on a Fearless Draft. You could have just done that, but this name just feels, it's too corporate to me. Then again, it's Riot Games, so why am I surprised about it? But the name just feels dull. It feels absolutely dull. That's my 2 cents, but it is what it is. So this will take place in Seoul, Korea, at the Lowell Park, home of the LCK. And it will take place from the 10th of March to the 16th of March. And it will determine our MSI seeding, winners of the LCK Cup, the LPL First Split, the LTA Cross Conference, The LEC winter and the LCP for split 1 will be taking place in a single round robin format, with the top 4 teams go to the playoff stage, and all of them fear this draft. It's not a big tournament, it's not one of those big tournaments, but it has some clarity to see like that tournament leads into MSI, which leads us into Worlds and all that kind of stuff. So it's not the most grandiose of tournaments, but I can totally understand, like, get this tournament in, get this done, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it for the first split, and of course the first stand of the LPL season. Now split 2 is gonna be really, really interesting. So in the group stage, once again the 4 teams are split. The 16 teams are gonna be 4x4, 4 groups of 4 teams. The teams are seeded into 4 pods based on split 1 placements, with 1 team from each pod will be drawn in each group. Now, teams will play a single round robin best of 3 within their groups. The top 2 of each group will advance to the Ascend group, and the bottom 2 of each group will advance to Nevada. It's basically the Ascend Nevada thing that they did last year, which I said it was really cool. It was a really cool thing of putting the crappier teams in and then putting the best teams up there and have them compete. It's night and day, man. And also the greatest thing about it is that we don't have to watch like the crappier teams, and no offense to like the bad teams. We're just gonna watch like the good teams. It's kind of like 2 days ago when I could like watch the Lions and the Bills played and the Eagles and Steelers played, and I don't want to watch like the Colts and like Broncos. No offense to these teams, but they just don't feel like a matchup I can watch. I want to see good teams play against the best. That's what we all want, and I feel like this system is perfect enough. They did it last year and was good enough, and I think this year on the split 2 format, it's pretty good. So the Rumble stage will be teams will play a single round robin best of 3 within their groups. In the group Ascend, the top 4 teams advance to the playoffs, and the next 4 teams advance to the Knights rival stage. Now this next part will be incredibly jaw-dropping. In Group Nevada, the bottom group by the way, the top 4 teams advance to the Knights rival stage. The 5th and 6th place teams will be moving on to split 3, so you're already eliminated, but you can get to play another shot in the next split. The bottom 2 teams from the Nevada group will not play in the LPL for this split. But wait, Akeem, there's more. Not only for this split, but the next split as well. Which means the bottom 2 teams from the Nevada group in split 2 will not play any LPL games for the rest of this year. That, my friends, is brutal. It is absolutely cruel. Like, unlike the other regions, it's like, hey, you finished bottom 2 with that thing, we'll give you another chance, replay and all that stuff. No. You do not, if you cannot perform decently well in the crappiest group ever, then that's it, you're gone. You're gone immediately. No more LPL for the rest of the season. And then, based on all of this, you got like, so it's gonna be like around May or something. That's like, you got like 7 months to think about what you're gonna do next. 7 months! Imagine your LPL season ending in around like May or something. You got like 7 months to prepare for the next split. Like, holy cow, it's jaw-dropping, it's brutal, but I can understand why, but Jesus, to have your season ended in May. In May! Like, wow, that LPL, that is bonkers even for you. For the Knights rival stage, the teams will play in a single best of 5 based on the Rumble stage placements. 4 winners advance to the playoffs. Any playoffs will be like double elimination. But in order for up position in Group Ascend, the 4 directly qualified teams will pick their opponents for the upper bracket quarterfinals. So they can just pick their teams, pick their poison, I guess. Which I said it's pretty good. So Group 1 Ascend will pick the 1 team, Group 2, and then Group 3 and Group 4, and then we'll have we'll do double elimination bracket just like all the LPL brackets should be. So I have to say, this looks pretty interesting. We got the Ascend and Nevada group again, but also the fact that bottom two teams in the Nevada group are gone for the rest of the season. And that, that is absolutely really making this season, especially split two, all more enticing. Because you better be good right away at the early part of the season. I mean, they're not going to be like the JDGs or the BLGs of the world, or maybe the IG right now. But, and I said but, they better get good really quick. Oh, sorry, quick. They better get good really quick. Because, man, oh man, imagine your season ending in May. Forget about Worlds. Worlds is like the farthest thing for them. Imagine the entire season ending in May. My lord. My lord. That is wild. So, on to the third split. And same thing again. Split two. Oh, whoa, wait. This is different. Call me Salakim. Teams are split into two groups based on split two performance. The top 8 teams, which be in the playoffs, from the split two are placed into Group Ascend, while the next 6 teams are placed into Group Nevada. So it's only 14 teams, but 8 will be on the Ascend, 6 will be on Nevada. I think you could have just done 7-7, but that'll be weird enough already, but it is what it is. Teams will play a single round robin best of 5 within their groups. In the Group Ascend, top 4 make playoffs, next 4 will advance to Knights rival stage. And then you got Group Nevada, top 4 makes the Knights rival stage, and then bottom 2 will end their 2025 LPL season immediately. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And that leaves us with 12 teams. Teams will play a single best of 5 based on the Rumble stage replacements. Top 4 will make it to playoffs. And then double elimination, all best of 5s, and then Group Ascend will pick their teams, and then all best of 5. Winner goes to Worlds unless the LPL team win MSI, and then added a different spot, of course. It depends of how MSI plays out. But, so, I think that Split 3 is not a changeable thing, except it's like 8 teams in one group, the 6 teams in the other group. And then it's basically the same thing like Split 2 format. But, make the race to Worlds so interesting, so I'll give him that. So, I have to say, of all the splits I'm looking forward to, I like Split 2 that much. Split 1 is kind of like they're doing fearless drafts. It's nothing too much. It doesn't set the table, of course. It doesn't set the table that much. But Split 2 is where you're like, I know the top teams are going to get through and they're going to be dominating. But that bottom 2, seeing 2 teams get eliminated at this split and pretty much saying you're done for the rest of the year. It's the most brutal, most slap in the face reality check you'll ever have to find. And you know what? I'm down for that. I will be watching Nevada games right now. I'm just kidding, but I'm still, man, it's gonna be pretty interesting. So that's the LPL format for you, and that pretty much means that all my major region formats are finished. But I've decided to do one more. No, Keem. I decided to do like one more format. And this one is coming out of straight left field. The next time you hear from me, we'll be talking about the brand new League Championship of the Pacific format. The newest member to the multi-regional club of like mishmash of everything like that. So the LCP is going to be the next thing, and there'll be a lot of interest and intrigue. It's not going to be like better than all the top 4 regions, but my goodness, it will be something to be looked forward to. So anyways, thank you for listening and watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe and all kind of stuff. And I will see you later, and enjoy the rest of the week. Stay tuned for the last 2 parts of the 10 things I hate about League of Legends. And that's it. Goodbye, everyone.